Hey guys, this is the answer key for practicing writing equations of lines day 1 in Go Formative. So let's go ahead and get started with number 1. Number 1 says write the slope-intercept form of the equation of this line. Well, slope-intercept form is in the equation, the slope-intercept form is the equation y equals mx plus b, right? Where this m value is our slope and b is our y-intercept. So we can get both of those from this graph. My y-intercept is where this graph crosses y, and it crosses y at -2. My slope is then when I find another coordinate on this line. So if I look right here, there's a coordinate. And I can calculate my slope by doing my rise over run. So rise over run from one coordinate to the next. My rise is 1, 2. My run is 1. So my slope is 2 over 1, which is 2. We can then just take that information and plug it in. So y equals 2x minus 2. Moving on to number 2, write the slope-intercept form of the equation of this line. So again, we're looking for y equals mx plus b, where that b value is my y-intercept. Your y-intercept is where that graph crosses the y-axis, and that's at 3 right there. Your slope is always calculated as rise over run. So if I find another point on my line right here at 2, 0, you'll notice that this line is actually decreasing. So my slope, I'd be going down 3 and then to the right 2. So my slope is down 3 over 2. So when I write this as y equals mx plus b, then all I have to do is fill in the information that I found. It does start to get a little bit trickier when we start looking at problems like number 3, where it says write the slope-intercept form of the equation of the line through the given point with the given slope. We know that we need it in the form of y equals mx plus b. The cool thing is they already gave us the slope. So I can fill in my m value. But what I don't know right now is b. But I can find b. And how I'm going to find b is by this coordinate they gave me, 5, -1. I'm actually going to substitute in -1 for y, and then I will substitute in 5 for x. And when I do that, it is actually going to give me my b value. You'll notice that b is now the only variable left. So 2 times 5 is 10, divided by 5 is 2. So this ends up being -1 equals 2 plus b. It's a positive 2, so I'll subtract the 2 from each side. So -3 is equal to b. I can then plug that into my formula. I now have my slope, which was 2/5, and my y-intercept, which was -3. Awesome. Moving right along to number 4. Same concept here. We have the slope. So in our format of y equals mx plus b, I can go ahead and fill in my slope, but I don't know this b value. So again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my y value of -4, plug it in for y. I am then going to take my +4 value for x and substitute it or plug it in for x, and then solve. So this is -4 equals 2 times 4 is 8 plus b. I need to subtract 8 from both sides, so -12 equals b. I now have everything I need. I have my slope of 2, and I have my y-intercept of -12. Love it, love it, love it. Almost through here. So this is saying write the slope-intercept form of the equation of the line given through these points. So in this, we actually have to do one additional step. So in this, we don't actually know the slope, but we can find it. So I'm going to find the slope by using that formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So I'm going to fill this in as 0 minus -3, so those were my y values, over 4 minus 3. So just in case you missed that, my y2 was 0 because it's the second coordinate, or the second y coordinate. My y1 was that first y value. My x2 was associated with that second x value, and my x1 value was right there. So now I need to do a little bit of math. So negative times negative is +3, so this becomes 0 plus 3 over 4 minus 3, which is 1, so 3 over 1, which is 3. That's my slope. So now I'm going to do what I did in the last slide. Well, where now I know my slope. Whoops. Now I know my slope, but I do not know my b value. So I'm going to pick either one of these coordinates. I'm going to choose 4, 0 because it looks a smidge easier. And I'm just going to plug it in. So when I plug this in, I get 0 equals 3 times 4 plus b. So 3 times 4 is 12 plus b. Well, remember I need to subtract this 12 on both sides. So -12 is b. And now we can finally put everything together. My slope of 3, and I keep writing m, sorry. So y equals 3 times x minus 12. One more example. So write the slope-intercept form of the equation of the line through the given points. So we have 3, 5, and 0, -1. First thing that we need to do, find our slope. That formula. I really encourage you guys to memorize this formula, or at least understand this formula. So 1 minus 5 over 0 minus 3. 1 minus 5 is -4. 0 minus 3 is -3. Negative divided by a negative is a +4/3. So I can then plug this into my formula, and I'm just going to choose one of these points. This time I'm going to choose 3, 5. So 5 is equal to 4 thirds times 3 plus b. The reason, hint, hint, that I chose 3, 5 was because of this, the fraction. 3 and 3 divided by 3 cancels out. So I end up with 5 equals 4 plus b. I can subtract 4 from both sides. So 1 is equal to b. So my slope is 1. So y equals 1x, 4/3 x plus b. That y-intercept, not the slope, that y-intercept is 1. And there we go. All right, y'all. Hopefully this helps. Let me know. Bye.